You can share your screen. Just a minute. Yeah.
Yes, I'm able to share my screen.
Yes, yes. The documentation you are. So this is the documentation regarding your 580C. Okay, payroll function. So just go back. P0, you just type P0580 IN instead of INPET.
Okay. So P0
P0580.
Yeah.
Again, you click display.
Okay. Yes, sir. Done, sir.
Documentation. Yeah. So this is again. Okay. So this is there are two functions which I am talking about. Okay. So this one function we understood INPET, and the second function you have started recording, right? So this is your
Yes, sir.
P0580. This is also a functions. Okay. So what does this function will do? Okay. So why there are two functions? We'll try to understand here. So this P0580, what it will do, it will only read and populate. Okay, it will read the data from the info type 580, whatever data you have maintained. Okay, it will simply read the data from info type 580 and simply populate in the internal table PET, which will be used for further processing. Okay, but for INPET, it does the actual work. Okay, so inside the processing part, it will be reading the input and producing the output. Okay, so all those details it will do in the INPET. Just P0580 just will help. Okay, so to the reading the data and populate into the PET table. Okay, so that is the key difference between your P0580 and your INPET function. Okay, so this is clear, Lakshmi and Shrikant?
Yes, sir. It's clear to me. Yeah.
It's clear.
Now you go back. I would like to show something else. Go back here.
Okay.
Click the green button.
Yes, sir.
Now you just type INPET again. One thing I left there. Type INPET.
Okay.
And there is a 3 arrow button here beside
Yes, sir.
2 steps before documentation.
Yes.
Just click that. Click that.
Okay, sir.
So what is this stands for? This is actually stands for query used list. That means suppose somebody is telling about the function name, but you do not know inside schema where it has been used. Okay, how will be understanding that? By using that 3 arrow button. Okay, so now if you after clicking that, you came to a window which says schema overview. Okay, so here we have 2 types of schema, standard and user defined. User defined, just expand that user defined one. There is a triangle, just click that. You can see there is something called IN and 1. So what does it mean?
Yes.
So just double click that.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is your schema, this schema IN and 1. Inside that, this function has been used. Just identify where it is. Are you able to figure it out?
INPET, right, sir?
Where it is? Did you find
here,
the line?
yes, 00019. Yeah,
Exactly.
00019.
Exactly. So great. So that is your INPET, which is the previous employment tax details. So now what we understood from here, from this concept, like suppose somebody is telling you, you know the function name, okay? But from the function name, we have to identify this function has been used in which schema or sub-schema, okay? So how you'll be identifying? So by the technique which I have told you, simply go to that particular function INPET by going to transaction code P04. From that, you click that 3 directional arrow button, and from that you will be getting the options like standard and custom or user defined. From that,
User defined.
you will definitely identify that in this way you will be understanding it is not only for Indian payroll. Maybe tomorrow you'll be learning US payroll or any other country payroll. This is the way.
Okay.
This is applicable for any other countries as well. Like you know the function name, but you do not know the schema name. Okay. So in this way, you can identify which schema has been used. Sorry, which function has been used in is part of which schema or sub schema. Okay. That is the ideal way. Now, you got my point, right?
Yes, I got the point.
Now you go back again. I will tell you something here. Click the green button. You expand the standard SAP schema.
Okay.
Standard.
Yes, sir.
So standard also is the same thing. That means, what does it mean? So if you click double click that, yeah.
Okay.
So this is not an ideal configurations. Okay. So what does it say? Just read that.
It's schema error, sir. SAP schema IN cannot be displayed because the schema is modified.
Yeah. Just click that red button. Click that red. Yeah.
Okay.
No. Actually, if you click that, now it will give you a message, the detailed message about it.
Yeah. Yes. But
go back again to that same thing. PE04.
I think it's closed.
Browse for folder.
I need to go back again. 1 second.
Otherwise, you can create a new session. No problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Because generally, I do not take sessions like this, as you already know the basics things. So for that reason, I'm taking a different, more practical oriented.
Okay.
So you expand the standard SAP schema.
Yes, sir.
And
so I'm double clicking the INN one.
Yes. Okay, and click that exclamation mark.
Okay.
Are you able to do that?
No, it's again showing the new session. It's
Okay,
closing actually.
No problem. So then there is, you understood the error, why it is saying error. So the idea is we never touch the standard schema directly. Okay, so that is the whenever. So, but what is the error? What is the configuration error here people have done? What is the major error they have done? I will tell you. Just click that expand again, where use list. Yeah.
Okay.
Then if you expand both standard SAP schema as well as your user defined schema, generally what happens in a typical project, in the user defined schema, we do not use directly INN1. Okay, because INN1 is a standard one. What we do, we generally
have to copy.
Exactly, Lakshmi, you are correct. Yeah, so what we do, so in this system, the test system which you are having, we do not use directly this INN1. We copy the standard one and we name it starting with a Z or G, you can say GNN1 or like that. Then we use that in our typical payroll schema. Okay, so that is the functionality. Anyway, there is a long way we'll be learning that again, how to copy those schemas and that, but my point is, you understood like what is a particular, suppose I'm telling a function name, and if you have to identify in which schema, then you will be able to easily identify in which custom schema, because we are more concerned about the custom schema, because in a typical implementation project or support project you are working, so in that a lot of user defined schemas might have been written. Okay, so during your analysis point, whenever you're analyzing any particular issue, okay, you have to always easily in this way identify in which schema it has been used, the particular functions, okay, functions or operations.
Okay.
That is our learning key point here. Okay, so now this is with this understanding, now we will be going back, just go back again.
Okay, sir.
So now we'll be going back to your so what I will do, you understood that 580, right? 580 is the same thing we'll be doing. Go to the particular employee, PA30.
Okay. PA30, right? So I have to close.
So one thing you can do, the way we have part of you understood, okay, Lakshmi,
Yes,
you
sir.
you can, what you can do, I'll be giving two different tasks again now for my documentation point of view. So enter 580
Okay, sir.
series, right? Okay, so Shrikant, you can, I'm giving two options. One is a Word document and another is the PowerPoint. Okay, well, up to you, which you will be choosing. Okay, so the documentation is very important because understand you are learning in a deep way. Okay, so what you can do, 580 series, whatever you are learning, all now, whatever I have taught you, you can make a document. Okay, so this is
Okay, sir.
Okay.
okay, so this is, I think it's a little tedious, but it is only for your benefits only, I'm telling. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Okay, sir.
okay, so otherwise, it will be again after training, after 3 months or 4 months, again, you will be forgetting. Okay, so for the, my idea is, Lakshmi, you can go for PowerPoint. Okay, so you can make
Yes, sir.
PowerPoint.
Yes, sir.
And
Okay,
Srikant,
sir.
you can go for Word document. Okay, so I can see you are already using Word document. In the same document, you can prepare your whatever you are learning today. Okay, so now
Okay. Okay.
go to 580 again. I will tell you what you have to do. 580 series.
Okay.
Go to InfoType 580. Okay. So you just go to the display or change something. So how many fields do you have here? Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
11, 12,
13,
13,
14,
14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 fields.
18 field. Okay, so the task for you is, I have explained first one. Okay, and the task
Yes,
for
sir.
you is like the all the 17, whatever the number of fields are there, you just maintain.
Okay, sir.
What you have to do, if you are maintaining one by one also, suppose if the next iteration, what you will do, you will maintain the second time the value of perquisites. Okay, so that you maintain and you run the simulation again. First you have to run without simulation. You have seen only at present /4v1 is only generated. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
you can in the Word document you can mention, like if you are maintaining, you can make simple the way you are comfortable. Like if you are maintaining this, then this /4v1 is generated. If then in the next iteration, it can be like if you're maintaining this second one, then this waste type, you just make the observation in the simulation. Okay, then you can see.
Okay.
Okay, so that it will be very easy. It will not take much time. I think not more than 2 to 3 hours maximum, including documentation part.
Yes.
Okay? But it will be very
Okay.
useful for you only. Okay, so all these things you can.
Yes, sir.
This is an activity
Okay, sir.
for you. You can practice it. Okay, so this is for 580. I told. Okay, any questions? This is this. Okay, because these are all one chapter each. Okay, suppose I'm talking about perquisite. It is itself is a chapter which I'll be explaining in detail. What are the different business conditions and all this detailed learning. Similarly, exemptions under section 10. It is a chapter. Okay, so exemption itself is a chapter. Exemption under sections like your medical exemption, leave encashment exemption, gratuity exemption, VRS exemptions. So all these exemptions I'll be teaching you in one go. Okay, so here we'll be learning from the waste type point of view, but there are some more detail about it. Okay, because some other info types as well are there. Okay, so how this calculation happens, what are this, all details will be going into detail. Similarly, for professional tax is one of the complicated thing in India, because of some of the states we have the professional tax. Some of the states like in Delhi, we do not have a professional tax. Okay, so it is on its own peculiarity. Itself it's a chapter, professional tax. Similarly, provident fund itself a chapter. Okay, and LT is a chapter again. Okay, so we do not worry. We'll be learning slowly one by one, and the way I'm guiding you, the simply to do that activity or the assignment which I'm doing. Okay, I'm just giving. Just then you'll be easy to understand. Similarly for NPS, we have also it's a chapter. Okay, so this is from a previous employment point of view. Now we have learned what are the things we can have from a previous employer details. So suppose you are moving from one organization to another organization, whatever the previous data we have. Okay, so that tax details we will be filling it in the next organizations. Okay, so if whenever depending upon its requirement and all. This is regarding your 580. Now, any questions before I move to the 581 info type? Anyway, you will be practicing a lot of question will come. what I will do, I'll be sharing a link with you, all of you, both of you. Whatever during your execution of this activity, whatever question is coming to your mind, okay, you can simply enter that.
Yes.
It will be Google form link. Okay, in that you can enter so that it will be easy for me to track. Okay, so sometimes what happens, some error I may not be able to. Suppose I'm not able to answer immediately, I will keep tracking it
Yes.
in the future, and I will be searching something in my documentation. Then I will be answering. Some of them might be happen. I'm just telling you. Okay, because I am also, even after 10 years of experience, many things is coming up new. Okay, so still I'm learning. Okay, so nothing like that. Okay, so I will sharing that link with you, maybe tomorrow morning or today night. I will sharing with you. In that, whenever you are doing some activities, if there are any issues or any queries coming to your mind, you can post that question immediately in that particular link only, so that creating it just in a spreadsheet, all the questions from the day today till we complete our training, all the questions and whatever have been answered, it is easy to track, because sometimes if we are making a note, it is very difficult to track because we are maintaining a spreadsheet or Excel in Google form. It will be very easy to track. Okay, so in that way we will proceed. It will be very systematic. Okay, in that way we will go.
Okay.
Okay, now we go back to info type 581 now. Just go back.
Okay. So here I need to run the payroll, and I need to check the ones like /4v1, like I need to check the how to generating, and I need to check the function here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So every detail. So the way more details, like for each and every line items here we are seeing, you have to just understand. Suppose I'm running professional tax. So for professional tax, what secondary waste type system generates? If I'm asking to you, you should be able to answer that. Okay, maybe we can have a quiz. Maybe after 1 week, I will be sharing one open quiz so that it will be easy to remember for you. I will just prepare. I'm not preparing the quiz. I'll prepare a quiz just for your reference. Okay, it will be very interesting. Maybe after 1 week, completion of 1 week, I will be having those kind of test for you. Let's go back.
I'm going. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Going back.
581 now. Today only we will limit to 581 only. Then we will maybe in the next session we will go further. Otherwise you will be overloaded. Understand? 581. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So what does it says? HRA, CLA, and COA. Can you tell what is the full form of this? These three things.
Company leased accommodation. Company owned accommodation.
And HRA?
And HRA rented accommodation, house rented accommodation.
Suppose a person is having suppose Lakshmi is having her own home. Okay. So is that required, like, to maintain this 581? I'm just asking. You can just expand, Srikant. You can just click create. I think if the data
already created.
Oh, you have already created, then there is no problem.
Okay.
So you can just drop down, go to the drop down, accommodation type. You can, what are the options we will be seeing? Okay. So we have more options here. Okay. So Lakshmi, to answer what are the questions I have asked to you? Okay. Suppose you are having own accommodations, then which one you will be using from here? The answer is already there in front of you. Lakshmi, are you there?
Rented accommodation. Hello?
No. Suppose you are having your own home in Guntur.
Okay.
Then which option you will be choosing?
Owned accommodation.
Exactly. That is the answer which I was looking for. If you are having your own accommodation, then you have to choose own accommodation here. Okay. And where you will be seeing two things here. Company leased, two times are there. Company leased and company. One is old, another is nothing is written.
Yes.
Any difference, you know? What is the difference between these two?
Company leased means company provides some leased houses, and company owned means provides company owned.
Yeah, we don't know that difference, sir. Actually, we don't know the difference both old and new. Yes.
So I will just explain. So when I say employee rented accommodation, it is very simple, straightforward. That you are in a suppose I'm new to Guntur, I got a job in Guntur, and Srikant is having his home and he has given rent to me. Okay, so in that case, I am an employee and I have taken rent from Srikant, and I will be, whenever I'll be going to HR, I'll be filling this option, the rented accommodations. Okay? That is very simple.
Okay.
And what happens in case of your this and all the options, we call it accommodation type. Okay, so in this we have a different types of accommodation type. One is employee owned accommodation. Suppose you are having your own employee owned accommodation. Okay, so then HRA will be paid. Suppose the owned accommodation I'm talking about. So this is again an activity for you. You can have one employee with own accommodation, and you will be running the payroll, and you will be checking his tax part. Okay, so suppose you are having your own accommodation, and in that case, what will happen? The employer, your organization, wherever you're working, whatever the HRA allowance he is giving to you, the employer is giving to you, that will be fully taxable. Okay, you got my point? What is, suppose you are having your own accommodation, then you will not be exempted. There will be no exemptions for HRA because you are having your own home and you are staying in Guntur, in your own home city, in your same city you are working in, you are working in the same city. In that case, whatever HRA you are getting from your company, that suppose you are getting say 10,000 per month you are getting, that is a part of your salary, and that entire 10,000 will be taxable. Okay, so whenever you will be taking your tax part, that entire 10,000 will be taxable. Okay, so this is again an experiment in the task or assignment, you can say. What you can do, you have to go, just I'm just guiding you now, just choose own accommodation for this employee.
Okay.
Okay, and you can now save it, because if you're choosing own accommodation, the further details are not required, because this helper and furniture, landlords, is not required. Okay, just save it.
Okay.
Now you run payroll for this employee.
So it's opening.
It is okay, because why it is opening? Any idea?
It's like a dynamic action.
What is a dynamic action? Just
already he mentioned house rented allowance.
So
Already he mentioned.
No, my
here already mentioned house rented allowance.
Okay, that means that this employee is getting HRA from the employer. Okay, so he's a manager and he's getting a basic conveyance and HRA. Okay, so this 7,000, the idea is we have to understand the 7,000 must be entirely taxable. So before testing the taxability, we will be seeing, like for this employee, my question is here, why there is a link between 580, not why, rather I will say, you've answered it correctly, Srikant, I'm happy for that, dynamic actions. The 581 and info type 8, these are linked actually. Okay, whenever you're maintaining info type 581, it will be updating your, even if you're doing any changes or anything, okay, it will be linked accordingly. You got my point?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
I got your point.
Yeah. Now you just save it, whatever you are saving here.
Okay, sir.
After saving it, you simply run the, simply click enter, nothing else. Click enter. Double 2 times, I think.
Yes, sir. It's processing.
After this, what we will be doing, we will be running
run the
simulation payroll for this employee team. Yes.
Okay, simulation payroll. Okay. Sir, I'm going to execute.
Yes, yes, please execute.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, similarly, the way we have understood your IN PET for 580, simply go to search IN HRA here.
Okay, sir. INHR.
Control F, IN HRA.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Click find. Then you just
Yes.
expand that.
Okay.
Go to input, output, just verify in IT if anything is there.
Okay, sir.
IT and HRA, just check that. IT will be finding a lot of things here. This
Yes.
last 4V1 also you can see, right? The previous gross, the 4 lakh which you have entered. It is
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
because the entire payroll, it will be still considering. Okay, so here, house rental 1102, what is that? 1290. Is that a figure you have maintained somewhere? Anyway, just I'm not worried about it. Just go back. This 1102, I think somebody has created. Just go back. There is
Okay,
nothing related to HR because you are staying in your own accommodation. You just click HRA if anything is coming there.
Okay, sir.
Is again 7,000. I think you have maintained 7,000 only, right? In your info type 8.
Currency place. Euros
Currency is
income.
wrong here.
Euro.
Anyway, we have to find out how to correct it. Okay. So anyway, that will be correcting. But 7,000 you have maintained in your info type 8, right, Srikanth?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Then it is right. So you can see that is coming. So here you can see there is something called CLS split as well. So what is that CLS split? Okay. So that is we will be learning in the upcoming sessions. Okay. So do not worry about it. Okay. But now only see the eligibility amount. Eligibility amount, it is mentioning 7,000. Okay. Now go back again. I will tell you.
Okay.
Now click the housing details in the processing part.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So this is the most important one. Okay. So in a typical your HRA calculations, you can see here the finding Begda Enda means your whatever the month you are checking. Okay, so we are checking for July 1st to 31st of July, and accommodation basis, eligibility, rent, difference. Why it is all are blank? Depending upon the options you have chosen, okay, it will be filled accordingly. Okay. So now, next step you will be seeing finding the rent for this financial year and the number of days in the coming months. You will be having different varieties of things here. Okay, so here, why it is saying SEC is equal to 4? Because the options which we have chosen, that is our own accommodation, actually system considers a number 4. Accommodation type is a number technically it says a number 4. Okay, and you up to this it is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Lakshmi, what about you? Is it clear?
No, sir. No, sir. I'm confused.
Okay. So I'm again repeating. So depending upon the option you're choosing in the 581, the accommodation type, okay, this processing will happen accordingly. Okay, so at present what we are doing, okay, so system will on a monthly basis, system will check whatever every month you are, because this every month it will check your suppose you are staying in a rent up to from April to June, but July onwards you got your own apartment and you move to that apartment. So in the middle of the year, financial year, you move from your one accommodation type to another accommodation type. That is also a scenario which I will be giving to you to test it. And what is happening, you will be telling me. Okay, so what will happen, how to check those calculations? The calculation will happen inside this INHRA function, inside this processing part. Okay, so what the system does, okay, in the top, it will check computation of monthly basis. Monthly basis means on a monthly basis, suppose as I was giving an example of 3 months you stayed in a rent and after that you got your apartment. Okay, so in that case, how system will compute every month, because system have to check every month, right? How this whether you're staying in a rent or apartment. Accordingly, if you've operated info type 581, system will update all these things. Okay, accommodation type, eligibility. In some month you are not eligible for your exemption because you moved to your apartment. Okay, so system will check it accordingly. So that is the meaning of the first line. What is the computation on a monthly basis it will do? Okay, is that clear, Lakshmi? Now,
Yes.
okay, so you'll be learning it more by doing, okay, by doing an experiment. Okay, so at present I'm just going at a high level. We'll be going into details maybe in the next session. Okay, so I'm just remember the header here. Computation on monthly basis, it will monthly basis calculate. Secondly, it will check the type of accommodation. If you are staying in a rent, how many total months you have stayed. Okay, so this is the second step. Third step, what it will do, it will find the annual basis. Okay, so at the annual level, okay, it will check what is the eligibility for the entire year. YTD means, do you understand what is the YTD here? It is written here. Srikanth, any guess what is the YTD?
Sorry, sir, I did not.
Okay, YTD means actually year to date. Year to date means, suppose I'm calculating for the eligibility for entire annual basis. Year to date means, suppose I'm in the month of November 2020. I'm calculating these things till November. That means from April to November, it will check. Okay, the eligibility. Okay, so that is the meaning of a YTD. Okay, anyway, I will be explaining. I think you are little not having background much here in this area. I will be explaining each and every terminologies here because those understanding those terminologies is very important. Okay, so we will be going much detail, but in the meanwhile, what I will tell you from an testing point of view, you can, the way we have maintained this, right? So you just go down here. Anything is, I think this is the last, right? Finding path value, there is no finding. There, as I was mentioning, if you are staying in your own accommodation, there will be no HRA exemptions. Okay, in the finding HRA exemption for metro and non-metro, you are seeing nothing is there, right? Srikanth and Lakshmi, that is our goal. Did you get that?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
If you are staying in your own accommodation, then you will not be having any HRA exemption or in your taxability or from a tax point of view. Okay, so which we now tested it here. And now what I will tell you, the way I've told you for 580, you can have different employees which you have hired, and for you maintain different accommodation type. Now you, Srikanth, you go back to info type 580 one again.
Okay, so I need to close this.
Take new section.
Yeah, you go to the new one. Yeah.
Yeah, new one.
Go to PA30 and go to that employee again. PA30.
Yeah, one second. Server is a little bit slow.
It's a bit slow, I think.
Yeah.
It was raining here also in the evening.
Yeah, it is Hyderabad actually. Yeah, the server came from Hyderabad actually. So there is a lot of issues in Hyderabad actually.
I've seen videos and news also. So
Yes.
go to PA30 and go to that same employee.
It's taking too much time.
Yeah. But what my idea is, I have now explained your own accommodation. What you need to do for the another two employees, what you will do, you can try that company leased accommodation, not old one. Okay, company leased accommodation. Another is the company owned accommodation. Okay, so these you can try, And there are some other options as well. The more the number of options, the number of options, suppose there are 5 or 6, I can't remember. You accept that
Okay, sir.
old one, wherever in the bracket it is written old, except those two values.
Yes, sir.
You just
Okay, sir.
maintain those info types and you just check this INHRF function processing part. Okay. And you just check the calculations. Okay. And in the next session, what I will do, in the next session, couple of times, I will start the more, because today's session is a more practical oriented. Okay. So in the next session, some of the theory concepts actually I will be explaining to you related to 580 as well as 581. Okay. Then we will be maybe in the next session, again, we'll be going back to this thing. And we will be learning into detail. Okay, you understood my point, Lakshmi and Shrikant?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the task, a lot of tasks I have given for both of you, and I will be also compiling the same thing in the and sending in the updating the WhatsApp. Okay. In the meanwhile, you may have to hire employees, and you have to maintain this for 580 as well as 581, and you'll be having more. The number of fields, as many as test cases, you can make it like test case number 1, test case number 2, scenario 1, scenario 2, like that. Okay. And as I was mentioning, Lakshmi, you can go for PowerPoint, and Shrikant, you can
Okay,
go
sir.
for document.
I'm going for, yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Then you practice as your own at your own pace. Up to you. We will be meeting again day after tomorrow. I'll be giving 1 day break because you need some time to practice these things. Otherwise, I'm
Okay, sir.
doing it every day, but I do not want to make it hurry so that you learn it in your own space, on own pace. Okay. So tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we'll be meeting again the same time. Is that fine?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, it's fine, sir. It's very, actually, it's very good. Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome.
We want space.
And I'll be sharing and one link which you will be asking for questions. The way you, wherever you will be, at any point of time you are getting stuck, you just maintain that, ask that question that this is the error I'm getting. Now also I'll be giving an option to upload your in that Google form. I'll be giving an option to upload your error screen. Okay, so that you can just take a snapshot, upload that errors, so that it will be easy for tracking. Okay. So the way towards the end, we'll be having suppose you're having 100 questions. Then again, you will be doing a recap of those 100 questions. Then so that you'll be feeling a lot of confidence will come. Okay, so that is how generally I prefer this style. Okay, and yeah.
Okay.
So if you have any questions, then we'll be meeting again day after tomorrow. Okay, till that time.
Yeah.
Good learning and good night.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, sir. Good
Thank
night,
you,
sir.
sir. Thanks, sir. Good night, sir.
Bye bye.